Buongiorno, my love. I'm here with Remo, my ever fearless co-leader. He is a hot dog this morning. So we've been out for a run in beautiful Roma down to St. Peter's. So this morning I'm going to talk about discernment. So oftentimes I am approached by teams, by individuals, by nonprofits, and people in kind of what we term vulnerable populations, because they've reached a point where things have kind of fallen apart and they don't know sort of how to take the next step, or kind of where the next place is to go. And they're stuck in making the the next decision. And I think that one of the reasons why this happens and why people seek that outside help or that kind of outside skills and assistance is because as we're going out and being leaders, and in that space where we don't necessarily have a boss telling us what to do, sometimes we make those decisions that sort of clothesline us and make us fall on our asses. So I have a really good example of this. This morning, as we were going for our run, Remo hasn't been for a run with me for a while, and he is attached to me around my waist with a waist leash. And he decided to go on one side of the pole and I went on the other side of the pole. So we were very effectively clotheslined from that decision-making process that went on there. So I learned my lesson very quickly as I was thrown quite effectively on my behind. I am not sure that Remo totally learned his lesson, as he just looked at me and was like, "What happened?" So I made him do some doggy push-ups to let him know that that was probably not an effective decision. So clotheslining happens in life. As we're going out and making these decisions, nobody was telling us which way we were supposed to be running. There was no manual for how to do this, for how to run around that pole. There wasn't any kind of leader in front of us that was saying to us, "Hey, this is exactly where you need to go as you're running." And so this is happening more and more as we're going out and kind of going into these new spaces. Entrepreneurs know this really well. Leaders of teams know this really well. And you know who else knows this really well? Mother leaders know this really well. Because we mamas know that there's no manual that comes with this small project that's given to us. There's nobody that's sitting there saying, "Hey, here's the magic formula for exactly how to do this thing." And we are oftentimes, as we're making those decisions about what to do, we're oftentimes clotheslined and we're kicked on our asses and we're like, "Oh, that was clearly not the right decision. That wasn't a decision that worked out well in that instance." So how do we figure out what to do in those cases? So this is actually something that is termed discernment. It's something that's been around for a really, really long time. Ignatius is probably the most famous person who talked about discernment. Good morning, Kyle. And it's a process of what do we do when we're in that place of the unknown and we still have to make decisions. We still have to move forward and we have to figure out what it is that we're supposed to do in this situation. How do we get up off of our asses when life has clotheslined us and continue moving forward and making those decisions that we're supposed to be making? Good morning, Biman. How do we do that? So this is a process that's called discernment, and St. Ignatius was probably the most famous one who taught us some of that. So Remo is making an interesting decision right now to go up those stairs and see what's going on up there. So I'm going to go take care of that puppy dog because that's my discernment for what to do in this moment. And we'll be talking all week about those steps of discernment and how do we keep moving forward when nobody tells us what we're supposed to be doing. Mama leaders happen to be really good at this. All right. Love you all. See you tomorrow.